Marco, you've heard about prediction market, of course, right? Do you think that prediction market is gambling? Yes or no?
um, it is basically. I mean, well, I am gambling or like speculating on like some U.S. politics because I do follow some of
Mm,
those. But I mean, like ultimately, I do think you can argue like any form of like speculation without proper risk management is our gambling. I think this is like a tale as old as time. Like the whole origin story of like the derivative markets or like options was like for so can chicken farmer can hedge the price of corn so they know how to like price their harvest for BMW when they manufacture their cars. They need to make sure that the price of steel is not too like volatile, so they have to buy like the futures contract and so on. So to some degree, it's always that the counterparty of those trades are speculating. I guess we can call it like educated guess. It's a bit different than something like a slot, right? Because like a slot is like purely based on luck. Like there's no way for you
yeah,
to understand or like for you to. It's not like poker. Like poker, some folks would say it's like yes, there's a form of luck, but you can do like some card counting. You can sort of like bluff your like opponents. But when you're playing against the house, like buying a lottery or buying a slot, like that's pure gambling. So I think prediction market is interesting because it depends on the market that we're talking about. Like if you are I mean, our friend like Lambro is a very famous. He
he's a
likes
genius.
to watch. He
Yeah,
likes to
yeah.
know. He likes to watch like NBA. So like, and he actually like understands like some of the nuances around that. So he would have a much better understanding on like how to make an educated guess on that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if we argue whether these kind of markets are gambling or not, then the answer is
Mm,
always yes. Because I would
yeah,
the last thing that I would say is that like outside of stock market, it's like if you're buying a stock, you're like buying an ownership in a company. So you might speculate something, but you're speculating on a real thing. You can argue gold is like speculation. Like now
yep,
it's
yep.
like not as much anymore, maybe because like it's been utilized by different like civilizations for hundreds of years. But maybe if you buy gold in the 1800s, it's like more like it's like gambling, right? So yeah, I guess that's a long-winded answer. Yeah, what is going on?
So yes, basically, I mean, New York State definitely agrees with you because New York State just sued
uh,
prediction market platform Kalshi. They are accusing it of running an unlicensed gambling business and are seeking to bar it from operating in the state. Right.
hmm.
So the lawsuit itself, filed in the New York Supreme Court, seeks at least 36 billion in
Wow.
damages, escalating the nationwide. They're escalating the nationwide legal fight over prediction markets.
Right.
The New York's Attorney General, Letitia James, didn't mince words at all. In her own words, she said, "No matter what they call themselves, prediction markets like Kalshi are gambling
Hmm.
platforms, plain and simple." I mean, I agree to you. I agree with what you said as well. Like, if we break down the whole financial market itself, like, right, it's basically you're predicting whether a stock is going to go up or going to go down,
Yeah.
right? If we break every financial financial assets itself, it's all down into speculation, and it's kind of a gambling itself. But the difference is that in the financial market, there's some sort of like analysis process that doesn't
Yep.
really, like you said, right, it doesn't really leave your chance to luck. I mean, but yeah, this is a
Yeah.
very immense battle between.
Did
What
you
do you
see
think?
if there's any, I guess, like lawsuit against Polymarket, or is it just Kalshi for now? Because that's also interesting to
Well,
me. Yeah.
right now, because I think like most of the legal battle is also concludes, like, it's not only Kalshi but basically a Polymarket and latest like
Hmm.
Robinhood's um, prediction market. They just launched a new prediction market as well, right?
Right.
Which is
Right.
also supported by Kalshi apparently. But yeah, I mean, the battle between Kalshi uh, and the state, like the state law, is also they're basically representing like not only themselves but they're representing the
But
whole
also
prediction
other
market.
prediction markets. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
So
What's what's their defense? Like I think I was like sort of reading something about. Like because like the whole licensing is a bit different, right? Like is it going to be under CFTC? Is it like the state rule? Yeah, what's your take on this?
Basically, the the lawsuit itself right now, it's Kalshi itself doesn't really argue that we're not a gambling platform. Basically,
Mm,
they're saying that instead of arguing that they're not a gambling platform, like the battle right now is about, they're arguing that state gambling law, which is usually always a little bit different between states. But yeah, they argue that the state gambling law doesn't apply to them at all because its contracts are federally regulated commodities under
yep.
the under
Mm,
CFTC, right? So basically, they're saying
mm.
that CFTC's oversight precede the state law. They precede
Yeah.
the state jurisdiction entirely. So that's the entire legal battle in one sentence, basically,
This is
between.
interesting because Kalshi was the one that pursued the regulated route before Polymarket, right? Like Polymarket has always started as like more crypto first, offshore, whereas Kalshi I know for like multiple years before the 2024 election, they were really pursuing this like CFTC, I guess you can call it sandbox or like compliance or like whatever. But so like now they're using that hard fought license to say that like yeah, like we're not like this precedes like the state law. Okay, that's interesting. Hmm.
Yeah, that's the entire legal. I mean, I guess like Kalshi is getting more of the heat because they are most of their. I think like I saw that their revenue is mostly coming from their sports prediction.
Sports betting. Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. So that's kind of, there's an interest there because as you know, like sports gambling, they are basically competing with
It's the majority
the
of the volume, right, for these prediction markets. It's just that
exactly.
and the 15 minutes like crypto up down, and then like politics. You can argue like the 15 minutes like crypto, like whether Bitcoin is going to go up or down in 15 minutes. Maybe that's more of a financial instrument because that is kind of like an option. But like yeah, like sports betting is yeah, like it's like I think that's going to be very interesting to see. Okay. Is there anything that the CFTC has said about this?
Well, the CFTC filed their own restraining order. They're already trying to block New York from pursuing enforcement against CFTC registered platforms like
I
Kalshi,
see.
Polymarket. Yeah, so they're not only like fighting for Kalshi only. So they're fighting for the entire prediction market platform. And they
This
urge.
yeah.
Yeah. Basically, that's
No,
that's
no.
the status right now.
This is also interesting, by the way, because I think I forgot was it Eric Trump or like Don Jr. But like one of them, or both of them maybe, but like they are advisors on both Polymarket and Kalshi.
Exactly.
So yeah, so yeah, so it is very interesting. Okay, yeah,
They have
I
their
mean,
own Daddy Trump.
wait, like did you ever use? I guess like did you ever tried using like Kalshi from like outside of the US? Like, is it like easy?
Kalshi I haven't tried, but I've bet on Polymarket a few
Makes
times
sense.
during the World
Yeah,
Cup. During the World Cup.
got it. Got it.
Yeah, what
Got it.
about you? Do you bet? Do you
Also, just in
place your?
Polymarket. Yeah, I don't think I've like fully tried Kalshi. I guess like for crypto natives, like Polymarket came to mind first before Kalshi. So yeah, but it is interesting because like there was a couple tweets from. I mean, he is biased from. What's his name? I believe it was like John Wang, who's now at like the head of crypto at like Kalshi. He showed this data that let me see if I can find it, but I think it's the the volume has, maybe you can help me find it. Let's see here. We will just cut this part of the
Yeah,
John Wang. Yep. So let me quickly share my screen.
I think I found a tweet.
Yeah. Yeah. So he sort of like said that like the crypto predictions volume market share, they claim that they have been increasing their market share in comparison to Polymarket. Now, I'm not gonna pretend that I've like double checked this, but I guess they're like specifically even focusing on the fact that the crypto predictions. So like they're talking about the I think the actually wait a minute. This is is this just crypto predictions, or is he talking about like crypto markets, or just like the 15-minute markets, or which one? I don't know. Let me just see the comments. Huh.
Is
Yeah.
that the? I found this tweet as well from John Wang. I mean, let me send you on the end. Not sure if that's the one you're talking about.
Let me see. Ah, yeah, yeah. So this is also a good one. So he, I mean, like one of the main job these days is like obviously to bull post. That's the that's the number one. Yeah.
Of
So they
course.
did 13 billion volume in March, and Polymarket did ten billion. If we're trying apple to apples, compare Poly US. Okay, so they have a good argument that Poly Market US, which is like the KYC one, uh, and their US market is 99% sports.
Hmm.
70% trading poly market candidates for Martians winning. Okay, I see. Yeah, so this is interesting. It's basically like one of the backers sort of like backing each other's. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, okay. So
I mean,
that's I
but
guess.
one thing that I always feel like, ever since the emergence of like prediction markets, uh, like I mean, the degenerates, the gambling degenerates have been is always there, but before prediction market, like it's contained within the crypto industry. But
Yeah.
like, but after the emergence of like prediction market, we kind of just see like there's just more degenerate gambler, that it's kind of basically they reach out their hands, they widen their reach, and
Yeah,
everybody is a degenerate, right?
that's I mean that's I think like why certain countries have started to like block it, right? I guess like even like officially or like not officially. I guess like France was also like blocking it before the World Cup. We know a lot of countries in Asia is also like not a big fan, like especially when you can bet on politicians and so on, right? Like that is like a uniquely US only thing, right? Like I'm like pretty sure even in like South Korea, or like like even in I don't know, even in like the Middle East, if you bet on like which politicians, like that's probably going to get you into like a lot of trouble. Like that's like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
uniquely American thing only. But that has been like the second use case. I mean, like you can see like a lot of the. I mean, like when the New York mayor. I mean, like I guess like other than the 2024 election, the biggest markets was the New York mayor, like Zoran Mamdani, when he won that election. So yeah, like it's like I think it's like broadly this is gonna incentivize people to bet more. And don't get me wrong, like I would say trying to be as objective as possible. Like I've seen a lot of actually interesting use cases of like people like hedging whether it's gonna rain tomorrow or not. Like farmers have used that, but maybe these are the propaganda, right? Like these are like the edge cases of like, like most people are actually not making money. It's just like the perps business. I'm like very neutral on this because like I think on one side, I know you cannot stop people from gambling, but it's also like how do you, I guess like yeah, like not kill the industry, but also
Limited, basically.
yeah, like properly like limited. I mean, like okay, like we're like talking a bit like all over the place, but like you can argue like some of the prediction markets here is a bit better than the Korean Kospi. The Korean
Oh
did you
yeah.
see that?
Oh
Like yeah, like a lot of middle-aged men sent like the funeral flower to like the SEC of like South Korea, saying that they should have banned the three times levered like ETF, because like that's really bad because you can access those products from your retirement account and then you get destroyed. At least when you go to like Kalshi or Polymarket, like you're betting, right? So it's like okay, like I know I'm probably gonna lose this money. So but yeah,
yeah, you're not sugarcoating it. but,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
did they try to ban 3x leverage? I mean, I kind of feel like a fucking degenerate as well if they try 20x leverage.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, they were betting. It's because that the way that some of these products are being structured, and I'm probably going to take a lot more time to like explain. But the three times levered ETF ETNs are always structured in such a bad way that over time you would lose money, unless it's like very short term trading. Then you might make money, but the cost of financing to enable that like 3x every time you buy and sell, and how that margin is like being realized or being closed at the end of the day, just in general, like if you go to chat gpt or like Claude and just say like what is the mechanics of like a three times leveraged single stock like ETF, you would see that they would claim that over time you would lose money even if the stock is actually going up in your direction. Like if you hold long enough and you don't sell at the right time, even if it goes up, but like it doesn't go up directly, but it goes up with time, you might
Yeah,
still lose money. So there is a time decay component in it, just like option. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
mean, that's the entire idea of like it just feels like there's a lot of degenerate with the Cosby happening. Like everyone is just going crazy with their money. But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm also like curious on one thing, right? Because I'm not. I know that we're both not a legal expert,
Hmm.
but I guess you lived in the U.S. for some time, right?
Yep.
I'm. This is something that I haven't looked at, but with this legal battle between Kalshi or the prediction market, between the prediction market and the state law, like these triangles, CFTC,
Yeah.
prediction market, and the state law, they're battling, right? What what's the solution when uh, when there's no when there's no
Mm,
like when the conversation is not going anywhere? Like, how
yeah.
does they resolve this? Do you have any information on this? Like, do they have some sort of Supreme Courts to rule out who's going to win this
Yeah.
battle?
So like eventually there would be a decision, right, made by the judges. um I guess that's the first step. So like regardless, like I mean, like it's not gonna go in circle like forever. Like yeah, sure,
Mm,
they might delay and delay, but like ultimately, let's say 3, 6, 9 months down the line, there needs to be like a decision made by the judges. Let's say if that decision is like made by the lower, like more of the lower level judges, then they can, like obviously they can object to that, and it would continue to go up until it might potentially hit like the Supreme Court, right? In past cases, things like this probably wouldn't go there because like the Supreme Court would only cover like really serious stuff. It's like campaign financing, guns, I don't know, like abortion, blah blah. But like for something like this, like typically it would probably like stop at like one or two level. I don't know enough, but like a good example might be the Bitcoin ETF lawsuit. Was very interesting because it was, I think, back then, Grayscale hired a former, I actually forgot his title, but like basically like if not the most highest rank, like one of the top two highest ranking lawyer at Obama's administration. So like obviously like he had since like left and does his own like private practice. Like Grayscale hired him to sue the SEC to approve the Bitcoin ETF, right? So like again, this is also like it's only available in the US, like maybe UK too, but like I cannot imagine like even in Japan and China and South Korea that you can sue your regulators and then you win, right? Like it's like impossible. Okay, but yeah, right,
only in
right, but
U.S. Only
yeah,
U.S.
yeah,
Baby.
yeah. So like I have a feeling that that is the closest comparables perhaps for a lot of normies, right? Like
Mm,
if we studied how that go, like how many levels did it go up, and like when did it actually stop before there's a decision to be made. I think that's going to be the case here too. This might be, I think this would resolve faster because there's more precedent around like sports betting itself. Was, if I'm not mistaken, sports betting started on a state level too, so like only certain state allow it, and then like over time they make it like a nationwide.
mm,
So yeah, like there's actually a lot of good coverage on this. Yeah, so like my like I don't think it's going to go up to the Supreme Court.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think they have to resolve this as fast as possible because I mean, from my perspective, I'm like I said, we're not a legal expert, but when I saw that the CFTC is basically battling these between state law and it says that like CFTC, like we know that CFTC got the backing of the president, like President Trump is backing CFTC to allow this prediction market to operate, basically, right? So the first thing that comes to mind is that if they're not winning this as fast as possible, like what's going to happen later when when Trump ended his terms, right?
Mm,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
that's an interesting case as well. Like, what if like there's when Trump is not a president anymore? Like, like there's more scrutiny going on
Yeah,
to this.
that's going to be a lot more things, like I know from just industry people that a lot of people really just wanted to launch product or just like wanted to pass law as fast as possible before 2028 because they think that 2028 maybe crypto in the US will be under a lot of like scrutiny again, just like 2020 to 2024. So right now, even though the price is not a bull market, like from a compliance perspective, it is a bull market for them, right? Because they can like finally take some risks and like push all the products that they were trying to launch during the Biden era. Even as simple as like BlackRock, like tokenized money market, would have been very hard to launch in 2023. But like now, something as simple as that, they're like pushing for it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I'm rooting for a prediction market, to be honest. But I do agree that there has to be some sort of like limitation or like containment, because like gambling
Hmm.
itself, like it's there's a reason why why people lose their life over gambling. Like, so
Yep.
it definitely needs some sort of like a limitation or some sort of containment to
Yep.
kind of limit people not to gamble too much. Did you know that Kalshi also got sued in they got sued in many other states apparently, and at least in
I think
four
I've read
big
that.
states.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, at least on four states, like they lose the court order basically. In Massachusetts,
Oh, they have lost. Okay.
they lost.
Interesting.
Yeah, their most recent one, I think,
Ah,
the most recent one. Let me check. The most recent one they win actually in Minnesota. In Minnesota, they win, but in
okay.
other states like Massachusetts, Michigan, Nevada, Las Vegas, and
Okay.
Washington,
Interesting.
they lost basically.
Okay. Hmm. Got it. Got it.
Another interesting news just happened today, yesterday actually, is that Mastercard completes acquisition of BVNK, the advanced global advanced global stablecoin capabilities. Interesting, very interesting
Huh.
news. The acquisition strengthens the ability to connect digital assets and traditional payment rails,
Hmm.
enabling secure, interoperable value exchange at scale. Basically, BVNK provides the infrastructure that supports fiat and on-chain payments behind the scenes, enabling people, businesses, and machines to hold, move, manage, and convert value across fiat and digital currencies within a framework of security, compliance,
Hmm.
and interoperability. So
How much was
yeah,
the
that
acquisition for? Yeah.
there's no information about the amount of acquisition, but let me check.
Oh wait, wait. There was, but it was from the older news. Yeah. Okay. It's
Oh, this,
1.8 billion. Oh, okay.
oh,
Yeah.
1.8 billion.
This is massive. Okay. Huh. Yeah, so I mean, like, I mean, like, you're right. Like, this is actually a notable news because mostly, shout out to the other episode we did a podcast with Payment Scan, and you can see sort of like a lot of the stats around Visa is pretty much dominated like stablecoin card settlement. I think their market share is like 95% plus. It might be even like 98%, and this might be um, like a catch up play. Like they have to pay for a lot of money. Like I think back then, Stripe, when they acquired Bridge, they also paid like $1 billion. And at the time, I know a lot of the VCs were like, "Yo, look, this is a real crypto exit that's acquired for $1 billion." I mean, in any case of like M&A, it strongly depends on whether there's a strategic reason behind it, more so than just like buying it for the revenue and the cash flow. And also a lot of the time, even with these massive deals, you're also buying the team. Sure, like the founder might get rich because he might get like 5% of the 1.8 billion like right away, but like typically there's like a clause in which he or she has to stay for a couple of years, right, to like actually build the business and build the division for Mastercard. So I think that is probably what's happening here. I mean, they have been really quite behind, so I'm not surprised at all that they're making this push. What's interesting to me is that like, will they take on more risks, quote unquote, right? Because like I would say like Visa is like definitely the more known names, even though it's like maybe the difference is like 10 to 20%, but like I would say like Visa has like a slight edge in terms of like being more known like globally as like a card payments provider. Mastercard tends to exist, I would say, in a lot of like emerging markets too. So like yeah, like that's why like I was saying like it would be curious for me to see like how they would play this differently than Visa, because Visa right now, even with the even with the companies like Rain and other companies who has like their principal member, the rules tend to be still very, I'm not sure if the word volatile is the right one, but like the rule strongly depends on like which which branch of Visa that you're dealing with, which countries. Is it like is the card issued and settled out of like Visa US or out of Visa Singapore or out of Visa Europe and so on. So I would be curious like how Mastercard would push for that, because I think they might need to be a lot more aggressive if they want to take market share. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, it's just like, yeah, like you said, we had a podcast with Thomas yesterday with Famous Can, which gives some great insight towards the crypto payment industry. One thing that I also curious is that I'm not sure if you're informed on this or not, but uh, what happens, like I've always been curious, like what happens if Mastercard and Visa, like, because right now we have a lot of crypto cards, right? Like Cast, EtherFi, Plasma One, Pay, and but they rely on payment networks and on issuers as well. But what happens? Is there any case where like Mastercard or Visa releases their own crypto cards?
I
Is that something?
see.
Is that
Yeah.
something that's possible?
That's actually
Because
a
then
very
because
interesting. Mhm.
yeah, because then it's a threat basically, right, to these crypto
No, no.
cards.
Well, that's an interesting question, but I also think at least in the next couple of years, I don't think so, because what they're doing is like they're actually offloading the risks. So they're like doing like, for instance, like they're giving companies like Rain and a bunch of like others like, hey, you guys can go ahead and like manage the relationships with the countries and so on, because they don't want to mess with the local regulators of every country that they're in. Because the last thing, this is actually like a good adjacent topic with what we're talking about. um Outside of crypto, if you're like following deeply like the whole fintech space,
Mhm.
the US just gave Brazil, I think, 25% like tariff or something like that. And then when you read on the reasoning why, the number one wasn't about trade or like the export import, but they made a very specific reason that Brazil is using PIX. It's basically their version of, I guess, in Southeast Asia it's like QR payment. In like India it's like the UPI. It's like
Mhm.
the central bank's version of money like processing. So they like Visa and Mastercard were not happy that basically like Brazil is using that. Same with like China with like Union Pay, and like Southeast Asia it's like QR Pay and so on, right? So I think, yeah, like I don't think they will risk going direct and launching their own cards. I mean, they have always worked with banks, right? Like even in a conventional traditional finance world, there is no Visa card. It's always like JP Morgan Chase with like Visa, or or like DBS with like Visa.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's not just like Visa like like straight away. So I think right now basically they are offloading that risk, and also because there's like too much potential downside if they make the local regulators angry, especially when there are many like alternatives these days. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good overall for like the adoption of neobanks volume, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so that is it for today's weekly memo. This is I would say, the inaugural episode. We're trying to cover really topical news once a week to start, especially just to give more context and nuances around it. A lot of times these days, the context is like missing in shorts or in like tweets. So that's our goal with this. If there's any news that you want us to cover, yeah, just let us know.
Hit us up on Twitter, on X, whatever you call it, on email. We're also available on Telegram. But yeah, hit us up if you have any topics, if you have any ideas that you want to talk about. We're always reachable. Thank you, everyone. See you on the next episode.